He's also the first South African president to visit China. For more reaction from China, we're joined now by Han Pong. He's in Beijing. And what's the Chinese media's take on his death?
Well, today, Nelson Mandela's death has dominated the Chinese media. On all the major Chinese websites, the death of this beloved statesman has made headlines. State-run newspaper China Daily says the anti-apartheid icon who ended bloodshed and turned turmoil into democracy has died peacefully at home. Nelson Mandela is a beloved name most Chinese are familiar with. Actually, back in our primary school textbooks, when we're learning, there were a lot of intensive reading articles about his struggles for equality and freedom. Today, his spirit is still inspiring for many Chinese, particularly at a time when China is facing mounting challenges, trying to push forward and deepen reforms, fighting the vested interests. His life experience encourages many Chinese in the sense that even the greatest social changes are still possible, no matter how much difficulties we have. His call for equality has also inspired many Chinese in the work of protecting and raising the social status of the society's underprivileged groups, such as the migrant workers as well as the petitioners. They're all facing a lot of discrimination, and in many cases, it's systematic discrimination.
Han Pong, it's Anand Naidu here in the studio. You know, when I was growing up in South Africa, and I lived in South Africa under apartheid at the time, and when the anti-apartheid movement, the broad anti-apartheid movement, including the ANC and other groups as well, when they looked for support abroad, most of that support came from countries like China, countries from what was then the Soviet Union. There was some support from the United States, but the United States, called it constructive engagement at the time. I remember they wanted to join white South Africans and also at the same time fight apartheid. The British had more or less an ambivalent attitude towards apartheid in South Africa. It was some would say it was tacit support for the system, but there was always this solid support from China and from the Soviet Union at that time. Is that being reflected in any way in China right now when we look at the death of Nelson Mandela?
Well, actually, the Chinese Foreign Ministry has just made an official response to the death of Mandela. The Chinese Foreign Ministry says that Nelson Mandela has contributed hugely in fostering the relationship between China and South Africa. They also sent condolences to his death. Actually, in 1999, Nelson Mandela landed in Beijing for China's first official visit from a South African president. That actually isn't Mandela's first time in the country. However, he visited China in 1992 when he was president of the African National Congress. Mandela has also even got a PhD degree from law school in China's leading university, that is the Peking University. And in 2000, the then Chinese President Jiang Zemin paid a state visit to South Africa. He met with Mandela, who has already retired actually from his presidency. So Jiang visited him as an old friend. And even today, the Foreign Ministry still call Nelson Mandela an old friend of China.